What is up, ladies and gentlemen? So we have got tournament number 2 for me that happened this past Saturday. And I came into this tournament feeling a lot better. I had learned a lot from that past one. And if you watched any of those previous videos, I just made tons and tons of mistakes. But this tournament, I feel like I did a lot better at managing, what I was doing with my characters on the field, my cards in hand, my Dawn, and it was just all around a better experience. I will say though that this tournament was filled with a lot of luck and a lot of unlucky moments. It was a bit of both. It was kind of wild, honestly. There's games where I had to be the luckiest guy in the world to win, and there were games that I had to be the most unlucky guy in the world to lose. So, with that being said though, first matchup here is against starter deck Kaido, and I don't know if you just saw it, but he got the Onigashima in his hand, so for sure gonna be playing up against a pretty tough Kaido, because once they start ramping with that Onigashima, it is rough to deal with. Absolutely rough. So, I decided to mulligan and take a second hand. And so we'll take that now. And, my opponent, really nice guy. We're just sitting here chatting. We're talking about some stuff. And I think I was telling him that this is my first ever Kaido matchup. So probably shouldn't be telling my opponent that at the very beginning, but, I like to be honest. And we'll play the Nami first, hopefully get a good start. Search through some cards, see what we get. Oh, I see a 5-cost Rush Luffy there. And we take the Nico Robin, though. That's actually an interesting thought. Is the Nico Robin a better call, or would it have been better to maybe try and get that 5-drop Luffy? Because Nico Robin can get countered out pretty easily by Who's Who. And yeah, he's going to counter here with one of his queens. And he's trying to save as much life as possible, but he puts down that Onigashima, which allows him to tap a rested Dawn onto the field from his Dawn deck. And he's got one Dawn left. Looks as though he's thinking of what he wants to do with that remaining Dawn. Does he want to put it under Kaido? Which he does. And I'll take that life. That's fine. And he'll pass turn back over to me. Taking a look at my cards, trying to figure out what the game plan is. This is a kind of a tough matchup when you haven't played against it. You don't really have any idea of... well, you do have an idea, but you don't have maybe practice on what to prepare for. But we swing with leader, and swing with Robin, he counters. Swing with leader, he takes a life. And now swing with Zoro after we put the Rush Zoro down. And he'll counter again. So he is really trying to preserve those lives. But he's at 7 Dawn now. And adds, an 8th Dawn, but it's rested because of Onigashima. And he'll swing with leader at Nico Robin. This is one of those moments where I was kind of deciding, okay, he doesn't have anything on the field, but I guess it doesn't matter that much to get rid of her, right? He puts down King and KOs Chopper and Zoro. I'm like, oh god, here comes the curve. But he passes turnover. I'm still thinking about it, and I'm actually mentioning to him right now, I'm like, it's such a shame that there's no way to get rid of event cards, at least yet, in the game. And he agrees. He's like, yeah, it's kind of a broken mechanic. And it goes against the rules of the game, but eventually we'll probably see some form of stage removals for those stage cards. Because it is so tough to deal with, him just getting an extra Dawn rested every turn to be ahead of me, after God knows how many turns, And we've got Sanji being put down here. I'm going to swing for 7. He will take the life on that. And I have 2 remaining Dawn. I'm trying to decide what I want to do. I'm going to put down the Chopper blocker because I need to establish some form of board presence. But he's up to 8 Dawn now. Taps 1 for the Onigashima, you know, so he's at 9 on the side. But he'll swing at the Sanji here. And, you know, here I'm not super worried about keeping a lot on the board. I'm just trying to at least keep the Sanji, but I have a couple backup plans in my hand at the moment. So I'll choose to use the Chopper, block him, and I couldn't believe it. He has another king. There goes the Sanji, there goes the Nami, and he swings at life. I'll take that hit. It looks like we picked up an Uta there. Pick up a 2k Brook on the draw, and we're rocking 8 Dawn at the moment. Don't feel very good in this position. I do not feel very good at all, but you know, it is what it is. Sadly, I'm kind of at a loss of what to do with the amount of Dawn that I have, because I know my opponent has 3 life, but he's not looking incredibly good with cards in hand. I think he has 3 at this point, maybe 4. And he counters again with another queen to stop me taking the king. And I think I made a bit of a misplay here, arguably, because I pick up the Zoro and I realize, oh, whoops, I needed to save 1 more Dawn if I wanted to do enough damage to attack his king 1 more time. But I decide to swing at life, and he counters with Blast Breath. So he will subtract a Dawn, put it back in his deck, but he literally gets 2 Dawn this turn. So it was more or less a free counter. And yeah, that's the tough part of this deck I'm dealing with. If it ramps correctly on curve, what do? You know? It's really, really tough to deal with. It's almost like I need an Otama and a Jet Pistol just to take out one of these kings. But he is trying to plan what he's got in mind with the Dawn, and he's going to throw 1 under Kaido. Oh no, I guess he changed his plan there for a second. But yeah, right now I have Zoro and Uta on board. I know that he's for sure going to get rid of the Zoro, but with Uta, I might be able to deal with one of these kings next turn. And he's going to swing for 6 at the Zoro. I'm trying to plan ahead, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to have 2 swings coming at me for my life. I need to be potentially trying to counter one of them. So, do I counter for the Zoro and have the king swing at Zoro again? I'm just reading the effect again. I just wanted to make sure before I start playing any cards that might make a mistake for me. And I don't know. I'm in a bad spot. I'm in between a rock and a hard place right here. It is not looking good. So I decided to just let the Zoro go. And he puts down 9 cost Rush Kaido. KOs my Uta. I am scared. I am very scared. 7 to life. 7 to life. So I'm thinking of whether I want to counter this or just take the hit. And my thought process is I pretty much have to try and win next turn. And odds are low, but my opponent only has 2 cards in hand. But we will counter that. And he swings again. And I will pick up my second to last life right here. So now he'll pass turn. I have all 10 Dawn, but I have a 10k Kaido, 2 7-drop kings, and my opponent has 3 life. I mean, could not be in a worse position. But if you look in my hand right now, I have 3 of the Rush Zoros, an Otama, a Jet Pistol, and I think that was a Diablo Jambe. I could be wrong, but I think that's what I saw. And I'm thinking of what I need to do here. So I'm kind of planning out my attack, and anything that I do just comes back to I'm not going to do enough damage. I'm going to die. He's going to counter it, and he takes the hit here, which makes me feel a little bit better, but not incredible. And after running everything in my head of what I had in my hand, the only options that I had was to just, you know, as the saying goes, risk it for the biscuit. And I just had to start dropping these Zoros, these Rush Zoros, and hope to God that, you know, he can't counter one of them, because otherwise I don't think I was surviving next turn. So he takes that life. I'm feeling a little bit better now. I'm gonna drop another 3 and swing that Zoro. He takes his final life, and I'm like, okay, well, you know what? If it works, it works. And so he's confused. He's like, how in the world? He was like, you got all 4 of your Zoros. And I said, yeah, no kidding. I picked up 2 from life. And yeah, he didn't have it. He had a 1k counter in hand. This is what I was talking about at the beginning of this video, ladies and gentlemen. Extremely lucky. Extremely lucky. All he needed to do was draw a 2k counter, even a 1k counter, to be on top of his other 1k counter, and he would have won. That would have been game. And yeah, I mean, other than that, it was a great game. Extremely lucky on my behalf, but that's just the way of the cards sometimes. But thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed.
You have 7 of those in your deck.
You can check.
No.
Absolutely. I don't mind. I was like, I don't mind. I've got, yeah. I think that's the 4th and final one.
That's why I counted. That's why I was in the graveyard. I knew you returned one, but I just didn't. Yeah. 4th one.
I drew 2 from life. I was like, no shit. All right.
I haven't lost like that. That's
yeah.
Crazy. All right, man. Good luck.
Dude, good luck to you, man. That was a great game. I was very lucky on my behalf. Yeah.
Put that on. That's good. That's good for the.
That's gonna be really good. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, man. You too.